with all rise for the Honorable Perry T. Cook. We're on chapter 40. Bucking back. You know that I'm sorry about the warden, right? Zoe Samuels has buckled up and cut to the chase. And you know it's not your fault, Perry. It's because of me. I know that's not the same thing as my fault. I step back and sigh. The bucking blue bookmobile waggles us back through the rising city. Zoe smiles a very soft smile. She looks toward that one small window in the rear of the truck. You can't really see anything out of it. Not from where we sit, just a square patch of light sky. But Zoe doesn't take her eyes off of it. I loved it, she says. She meant spending time at Blue River. They were so nice. I thought I might feel nervous, she admits, but I wasn't. Her smile does a funny thing, turns downward at the corners. Her bottom lip quivers. Her chin tightens like a little nut. Zoe Samuels puts her hand to wipe away the tear that comes down her cheek. She won't look at me right now. She keeps shining her eyes on the square of light. A few more seconds and the soft smile returns. I sit back and breathe out. I let my head sway with the rocking of the old bookmobile. I think about Warren Doherty. I'm sick in my gut that she's actually suspended, all because she kept Mom and me together. I sort of love Miss Shoshona for finally spilling the beans. Mom said she was sorry for not telling me. She was waiting for the right time, but she admitted she should have known it would never come. It would make plenty of sense for me to feel mad, but I didn't have any mad in me. I just have this dull ache. I can't imagine Blue River without Warren Doherty. When we reach the library, everyone is waiting for us. Both Van Leer and Zoe's moms are standing on the curb right where the bookmobile gets parked. Our backpacks are sitting sitting at their feet. She's calm. Her arms are folded across her chest. His face is like a rock. Mr. Olson is there too with his clipboard. He looks like a pale slice of cheese. Oh, Lordy, says Mrs. Buckmuller. She limps and blinks while we push the cart. What have we, a welcome committee? Not exactly, said Mr. Van Leer. Mr. Olson looks at Mrs. B. He clears his throat. Turns out we've had a little miscommunication. These children were never supposed to leave the library. Van Leer starts in and doesn't stop, even when Mr. B and Mr. Olson try to apologize. You took 2 children off the premises without permission, Mr. Van Leer says. Meanwhile, Zoe has tucked herself under her mom's arm while I wait in place with both hands on the cart. Next, we hear about the protocol, responsibility, and the terrible fright this afternoon has given everyone. He finally takes a break. Mrs. Buckmuller speaks. Why, if I made a mistake, I'm unreservedly sorry. The way I understood it, I was meant to take Perry and Zoe with me. I had 2 little library volunteers for the afternoon. I will say their efforts were laudable. You should be very proud. They made a world of difference at the... You took them on a field trip to the prison? They're not supposed to be on field trips to prisons. He points at Zoe. Look, she's been crying. Tom, it's fine. She's fine, Zoe's mom said. I haven't been crying, Zoe said. Not bad crying. Really, I'm okay, Tom. Her mom brushes her fingers under Zoe's chin. She touches the new braid. Pretty, she whispers, and Zoe nods. I want to go back again, she says, right into her mom's face. Not possible, says Van Leer with a shake of his head. I look down at my own feet, scuff a toe. I think about Mom. I want Tuesdays and Fridays. I want them so much. What is it to him? I hear Zoe being calm and cool. She says, Mrs. B really needs our help. Splendid, said Mrs. Buckmuller. Thank you, darlings. She takes over the cart and with Mr. Olson's help starts the ramp up to the library. I stand uselessly to one side, and Mr. Van Leer is still shaking his head, and Zoe's mom touches his arm. Look, all is well. Let's head home now, she says. Perry has been home, Zoe says, this whole afternoon. You should have seen how happy they were to see him, Mom. They were even happy to see me. She puzzles. I don't know what I thought it would be like. Perry told me some. There's the sad part. Some of the residents seem to turn away. But Perry's friends, well, they really felt like new friends that you could meet anywhere. Oh, great. We have a sympathizer, Mr. Van Leer groans. But Zoe's mom pulls her girl close to her. I think we have an empathizer. She looks at her husband. Softly, she asks him, and what's wrong with that? What's wrong with any of this? I ask. And I'm a little on the loud side. Isn't the bookmobile arrangement perfect for everyone? Chapter 41, Video Room. On Wednesday afternoon, I'm in the video room, right at the library. At the library with Zoe Samuels. Is this the right wire, she asks. Well, if it's to the camera, the other end is the computer port. So yes, I think so. We're taking a stab in the dark. We signed up, and we have this computer in the video room for 30 minutes. Then it'll be taken over by everybody knows who, Brian Morris and his friends. For now, we're tucked into the most private corner. Trouble is, neither Zoe nor I know what we're doing. All right, we're connected. See the icon for the Movie Maker program? Zoe pushes me along. I click it. Now let's see if it comes up, she says. And it does. 6 little squares of Big Ed laying themselves down in a row on the screen. Yes, these are the short video segments for his interviews. There you go. Now click one, says Zoe. She jiggles my arm and I tap the pad. There's bigger Big Ed from my tiny camera to the computer screen. Wow, I said. I've been scheming or imagining. I'd love to put the videos with the written story. Somehow I'm picturing turning Blue River stories like mini documentaries, but I have no idea how to do that. I click on the still shot of Big Ed and try to make it play. Zoe and I watch all 6 videos without speaking. Even though they're short, they tell the long, hard story. We hear Big Ed's raspy voice, the way he has to push out those awful words. We see the way his eyes look for a place far away. We see his fingers not together in his lap. Oh my goodness, Zoe says when she sees the last video end. She leaves her hand on her elbow and presses her face out of shape with one hand. He didn't even mean to hurt the kid. And who is that guy? Our heads snap around. Brian Morris is right behind us. His mouth hangs open. He's staring at the stop shot of Big Ed. I wonder how long he's been there. Hey, get out. Zoe Samuels is on his feet. This computer is ours, Forrest. She checks the clock. 15 more minutes. Brian's chin juts towards the screen. Who's that? He presses. Is he a prisoner? I wait. We are eyes on each other. He's asking questions instead of making stuff up. Well, we say resident, I tell him, but he's one of my best friends. Harry, stop, Zoe says. She puts her arm on the screen. And don't let him see. I already saw, Brian said. That guy hurt somebody, didn't he? Buzz off, Brian, Zoe snaps. Perry, what are you doing? What are you going to do with the videos? Brian presses. I shrug my shoulders because I don't know. I stand up, reach for the wire, pull it out of the port, gather up my camera, and tell Brian, you can have the computer. We're done. Zoe Samuels follows me out of the room. She's breathing fire at my neck. Why would you even think to trust him? She asks. And she goes on about it as we walk. He could tell some messed up version of Big Ed's story to all his lunch buddies. I turn around just before we get to the history room, and I could tell her, you could be right, but then again, people can change. Chapter 42, 2 wins and a dig. On Thursday, the Van Leer grown-ups go walking up and down the street after supper. They've been doing this a lot, especially this week. Zoe clues me in front of the window of the Van Leer house, where she holds the curtain back with one hand so she can see them. She says they call that having a discussion. I call it taking it to the streets. It's polite fighting. That's not nice, I say. That's nice, I say. I don't need to be funny, but Zoe laughs out loud. I mean, it's not the worst idea in the world, keeping it out there instead of in the house where it makes everyone feel bad. You say it's like sticks to the, you say that like it sticks to the wall or something, Perry. She drops the curtain and faces me. They're going to let us do it, she says. We'll be on the Bucking Blue bookmobile tomorrow. She pops her fist in her hand like it's a done deal. We've both been waiting for the answer. Tomorrow is Friday, so it can come tonight. Zoe and I unload the Van Leer dishwasher. While we stack dinner plates and salad bowls to the cupboards, I do some good hard hoping. I tell Zoe, I want them to find a yes for us out there in the street. I want them to find a yes out there for us in the street. They can bring that inside and stick it to the walls. Later, standing shoulder to shoulder with Mr. Van Leer, Zoe's mom gives us the news. So we're going to give permission for the 2 of you to travel with Mrs. Buckmuller. Yes! Zoe shrieks. She faces me. We slap 10. Zoe's mom smiles hugely. Mr. Van Leer stays more serious, but I don't miss that there's a faint smile on his face, too. He's watching us celebrate. He likes to see Zoe happy. Zoe throws her arms around her mom, then around Tom, crying, "Thank you." Her stepdad curls his hand on her head. His fingers rest across the Blue River braid that's held up for 2 nights and 2 days. I feel myself pull toward Zoe's mom. I think she's almost reaches for me, too. I could hug her, but I stop. I hold my own elbows. I smile and tell her, thank you so much. This is going to mean a lot to my mom, too. Just don't forget, you have a purpose while you're there, said Mr. Van Lee. I still have eyes on Zoe's mom. I know she went to bat for us, and she was looking back at me with the same shiny-eyed look that Zoe had coming home from Blue River on Tuesday. She made this happen. But Mr. Van Leer did not have to agree. Yet he did. So I face him and say, thank you very much. You're welcome, Perry. I want good things for you. I do. He gives me a nod. And really, it's a good thing you'll get to go tomorrow. He turns as if to get on with the evening. This will make up for Saturday. We all twist to look at him. Tom, what does that mean? Mrs. Samuels asked. Oh, I have to drive Claire up to Abby to pick up a case file box. Inconvenient, he says. Sorry, a trip to Surprise is out of the question. What? But I have to go to Blue River, I hear myself blurt out. Then I think to myself, it's Mom's story. I need this. Mr. Van Leer, I have to see my mom. I have an interview to do. Maybe get it done tomorrow, pal. But my mom works. We won't have time. I feel a hot knot in my chest. Tom, really? Zoe's mom presses him. It's one of those impossible scheduling things. He raises that one hand helplessly in the air. I can't get up there tomorrow. I have a full day in court. These quirky little towns are understaffed. I don't like working Saturdays. You know the story. Wait, Zoe's mom says. No, I don't, Tom. We talked and talked. She gestures towards the street, and I wonder if they're going to go out there again. You didn't say anything about Saturday. Tom, Saturdays are your promise to Perry. Zoe speaks up. She pats his arm. He looks down at her. I have to work, Zoe. I have responsibilities. I'll take him, Zoe's mom says. No, you have Zoe's dance class. Clear in the opposite direction, Robin. I'll miss, Zoe says. No, Tom shakes his head. Nobody has to miss anything. It'll be fine. Just 1 week, and Perry will have both Tuesday and Friday at the prison. That's plenty, he says firmly. Well, we'll have to see. We'll see, Zoe's mom says. She's flustered and nodding her head a lot. We'll see. If I leave, maybe she could stop repeating herself. Excuse me, I say. I take huge strides, hitting heels on the floor as I go down the hall and away from Thomas Van Leer. In the closet, I breathe and stare at my timeline. What are your wins, I ask myself. Tuesday and Fridays. I'll take a pencil in them and circle them all the way across the wall, into the corner and out again. The bucking blue bookmobile is a big win, but I'm furious about Saturday. If Van Leer can decide to skip one Saturday at Blue River, he can decide to skip more. He doesn't get that. This was the Saturday that Mom was going to tell me her story, or how long I waited to know the whole thing. When Van Leer went on Desiree Riggs' show, he said he'd help me any way he can. Canceling Saturday is nothing but a kick in the backside. We read chapters 40, 41, and 42.